Hi everyone, my name is Randall Orser with Number Crunchers, and today we have part one of 18 tips to a smooth audit. So tip number one is to set up a system that you can follow and use, whether it's simply QuickBooks or even a spreadsheet. Well, for a lot of smaller clients that maybe it's a part-time business, they don't really need to do something like simply or QuickBooks, but at least get something that's set up that you can follow and that you can use on a regular basis. Tip number two is to file your receipts by category or month. Now, if you're a proprietorship, you could generally get away with filing by categories such as office, auto, advertising, that kind of thing. Because when CRA wants to come and look at the stuff, they're going to look at office. They're not going to look at this vendor or that vendor. They're just going to look at office. Everybody else, if you're really small, you can just file it by month. But if you're a little bit larger, you'll want to generally get it so that you're filing by supplier, such as TELUS, Shaw, etc. So tip number three is when paying a bill, record the date and check number on the bill, and if it's a partial payment, the amount and date of each payment. You want to do this right away because later on you're not going to remember when it was paid. And also if you want to check later on, because somebody says, well, I didn't get my check, you can say, well, we paid it by this check. You can look through your records. Did they cash it? If it was cash, then you go back and forth that way. Tip number four is always get a receipt. Cash purchases are difficult to claim otherwise, and your credit card statements and bank statements are not always proof of a deduction. Sometimes you can create your own receipt, such as in the case of metered parking, but make sure you write the date, the time, who you were meeting, and even have maybe a business card of the person that you were meeting, just so you've got proof of that. Tip number five is do your bookkeeping on a regular basis, at least monthly, quarterly, maybe, depending on how small you are. But I highly recommend doing it at least monthly. That way it's more manageable and it doesn't get out of hand. And of course, if it gets out of hand, you put it off and you don't do it. So tip number six is entertainment receipts. Please record the date, the client's name, and the purpose of the event so that you have that on record, because the first thing they're going to look at is meal receipts, and if you don't have that information, they're going to cancel it on you. Thanks for watching part one of our video series. This is Randall Orser with Number Crunchers, relieving your paperwork nightmare.